black woman, I need you to come to the front. I have a question. Am I crazy for saying I will not date a black man that dates white women? And I'm not saying like you can have never dated a white woman. I'm just saying if you continuously date white women more than you date black women, I don't want to date you. And I feel like I've run into this issue my entire life. Like I went to a PWI. I grew up in like a white suburban area. Like I am very familiar with black men that want to date white women. But through my experiences and seeing the patterns that I see from black men that date white women, I just know that that's not for me. Like the characteristics of that type of man is not the man that I see being my partner. And I like try not to stereotype people or like put them in a box because I truly don't think that all black men that date white women or like have a preference of white women are this way. I'm just saying I've noticed it enough for it to be an issue with me. And like, I just have noticed that those men tend to be uncomfortable in their blackness. They tend to be a little bit more insecure. I typically intimidate them, which I don't really understand because I'm like so nice.
So therein lies the issue: is that she don't think that they black enough, and more importantly, she feels like she's inferior, and so now she's projecting that onto other people as to why it is that she not available for these guys. Because I don't even think that it's more or less about whether or not she's choosing not to date them. I think that they're choosing not to date her, and she's feeling some type of way about it. But let's continue into it.
And I also just noticed that like they don't really respect women, not even just black women. They specifically disrespect black women more, but like they don't typically respect women at all. And that's definitely not the kind of person I'm interested in dating. So I want to know from other black women, is this crazy to say? Like, is this a crazy standard to have? Because I've always been like this. I've always said I refuse to date a black man that dates white women, but I don't know. Maybe
I'm amazed at these women that never want to be stereotyped, that says that black women get the worst end of the stick, but then at the same time, that's what they do subconsciously and consciously. They stereotype other men as though they have a whole lot of choices. Because if you was a wife or you was a person that people seen as wifeable, whether it be your personality, your attitude, your disposition, or how you choose to treat other people, then you would be a wife. And you only need to find one great person. So to discriminate a person based off of, or to complain about discrimination based off of whether or not a person is dating other people or is open to dating other people is insane to me. Is 100% insane to me. But then again, nothing is logical in today's day and age. And the fact that she said that she wanted a partner instead of saying she wanted a husband is also very telling, because most people that choose for themselves choose wrong. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. Most people that choose for themselves, they choose wrong. They can't control themselves. They always go for what they think somebody is going to do instead of going for character. Because if a person, listen, if you get to the point where a person actually says, yo, I want to go out with you, I'm interested in you, I want to have a conversation with you, then that means that they like you. If they like you, then that means that you can overcome most situations as far as all of the little details of stuff that you think is different from you, how they eat their food, what their preferences is, and how they challenge. People evolve over time and they become better versions of themselves, and they, get different experiences that then color their perspective. And I will tell you that a good person is a good person regardless of whether or not they black, they white, but black women feel inferior, and you can see it right here. She feels as though they are disrespectful to black women because they have a preference for white women, which again, I'd have to ask the question, well, if he was on a date with you, because again, we're making the assumption that he has interest in her as well as date other women. If he has interest in you, then why are you so concerned about whether or not he's dating somebody else or he's dated somebody else? It doesn't make sense to me. From a man's perspective, let me give it to you this from this lens. I don't think that men really care. They may have a preference, but it doesn't mean that they're going to disclude a great woman if she meets certain expectations. I think we need to get back to our biblical principles, honestly, when it says, he who findeth a wife, meaning that you are already a wife. They just have to discover you, findeth a good thing. And so a lot of times, a lot of women, they have too many experiences, too many situations. I've also found that they're very much influenced by what is happening on social media, and they're taking advice from other people that do not have success in their relationships. Instead of clinging to, and in yesteryear, women used to cling to their mothers. They used to observe from their fathers of how he treated their mothers. That's the man that they would usually go for, or a man that was in proximity. It had nothing to do with whether or not you had this preference or that preference. We have 1 million new preferences when you combine and multiply them by each other, and that's not serving us. Usually people just really rocked out with each other. They loved each other. They wasn't worried about what nobody else is thinking. They wouldn't put in all of these criteria and dispositions. And now she's prefacing it by saying, and I was raised in the suburbs around PWIs and all of this other stuff, and I'm aware of how these men choose. No, absolutely not. I think that it is a competition. I don't think that people have a preference based off of the things that they look for that they like. I think that people look at what they don't like, similar to what she's saying right now, and that's how they choose to disclude people from the conversation. And it's stupid. It really is stupid. You have to find one person that truly loves you, loves your draws off. Often at times, and I say this all the time, that women skip over the man that they should have married. And then they get mad because that men look at them and say, you know what, my experience with you is X, and so I'm going to go with Y. And then women start to get angry at it and say, well, I will never date a man that goes with Y because he's disrespectful towards X. And people are letting all of their past situations and situationships inform them on how they're going to treat a person. To even go into a situation and say, I'm not going to date you based off of who it is that you prefer or who you date. How do you even know that? What part of the conversation did you get to where you then said, hey, who do you previously date or what's your preference? If they're out with you, again, let's think about this for a second and put it in perspective. If he's out with you, if he's interacting with you, if he's having a conversation with you, why are you having a conversation with him and asking him or looking to find out who he's dated or who he's dating? Because one of the things that she said in the very beginning of the video, yes, I did listen. She says, I don't mind if he's dated a white woman in the past, but if he's dating, how do you know who he's dating? Again, and give me a little bit of rope here, and I'm open to the possibility that I'm wrong. And I always like to link back to the content creator in order to give them credit for whatever it is that they're talking about. For a person to say what she said, which is she doesn't mind if he's dated, but who he's dating. I don't know guys who tell women who it is that they're dating at that particular time. Maybe they say that they have a preference. Maybe they'll tell you what their ex-wife is like or whatever. And I'm assuming that maybe she hasn't grown to that point or whatever. But I believe personally in my heart that women a lot of times look at what they see trending on social media and then they feel, again, your feelings doesn't necessarily mean that it's valid in the minds of the person that you're judging. They feel like they're inferior and that they can compete. And you combine that with the fact that a lot of people have black fatigue and all of this victim Olympian junk and, with the stereotypes that have proven to be true a lot of times about black women. And then they feel as though they're not able to really be able to compete in the sexual marketplace in order to get the man that they want. I think that you only need one. You shouldn't prejudge people. Evaluate each and every individual based off of who they are when you meet them at that particular time, and you'll be fine. But all of these stipulations and criteria, you're going to find yourself crying by yourself, acting like you're happy when you're not. Let me know what y'all think inside of the Patreon, and let me know what y'all think on this video. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.